Good afternoon. We're here with Holly Jennings, based up north here in the UK. We're going to do the usual 5 questions about what it is you've learned and hopefully help some people on refurb journeys. So, Holly, I guess just introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself first so that people know who you are, what you do and where you're at.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. So I'm Holly, and I'm part of a duo team for Wolf and Sword Property Partners, and my partner's called Nick Osborne, and we've been on this journey now since 2018. We started doing all our trainings, as you kind of do, and then in 2019 we got our first refurb, and we're now on property number 7. So it's been a good journey, and we've helped other people along the way. We've done a bit of sourcing and management and kind of that whole turnkey, find them, refurb them and rent them out for people as well. So we've helped other people along the way on top of that. And we've also created a CRM system called Property Pipeline, also to help people on their journeys if they need something like that, just to log deals and stuff like that.
It's a bit more than just a CRM though, Holly. You can use your own portfolio to manage it and all that kind of thing, can't you?
That's true. Yeah, it does everything. It's kind of a one-stop shop. It's been around now for about 1.5 years. And yeah, if you're sourcing, if you're managing, if you're growing your portfolio, it does things like help you with your numbers, whether you've got different strategies, whether that's like a rent-to-rent type strategy or a flip, cash flow, that type of thing. So there's lots of things within it that can help you. You can log your finance. It's a bit endless really of what it can do. It's, if you kind of on this journey, it'll have something that can help you for sure.
Awesome. So people can either look that up at Property Pipeline or we'll get your contact details at the end and we'll drop them in the comments below as well, so people can look that up afterwards if they want to explore that and maybe pick up a call with you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
No worries. So refurb since 2018. So what's that? Four into your 5th year?
Yeah, well, I guess we got the keys to our first property in the February 2019. So we did a lot of education first, and then we were really hands-on from that February 2019. So it's a good 3 years now, and it was quite exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time, as I'm sure it is with anybody then they're starting out with the funds, and you get the keys and you're a bit like, what now? I've got them. I've actually now got to start doing something. So that was very interesting. But it was a good deal. We got that one for 60, and the refurb ended up being 14,000 on that one. So it wasn't too bad. We didn't need to do the boiler. It was more of just repaint, some new carpet. There was a little bit of damp in the corner and a bit of woodworm treatment needed. And then we did new kitchen, new bathroom, and blinds.
That was the value and where you went.
Yeah, so afterwards, the done-up was 85, and now it's worth 105 to 110.
Fantastic, that's what you want.
Yeah, it was really good. At first, when we first saw it as well, is the return on investment when we first did the numbers was about a 16% return on investment, and we've always talked to go for a lot more than that, but we just wanted something to get us started, just to get our kind of finger in the pie and just kind of working with builders and trades and that kind of thing. And that it ended up being a 26% ROI, and then it actually become better than that again, and all the money out was in 2 years, and so now it's just cash flowing asset, which is great, which we never thought. When you start off, you never think you could do it, but the first one was a really good one in the end.
Fantastic. So obviously cutting your teeth, getting that done then. Not the greatest kind of word, but what's the one, I guess, biggest mistake maybe not the right word, but you've made on a refurb then since you've been doing that for the last four or so years?
Yeah, so I was talking to Nick about it. I was like, what would you say? And we've been quite lucky. There's not been like big, major things. Most of it is kind of trusting sometimes people more than you should. The biggest one was probably having a tradesperson that was on a fixed kind of quote cost that we'd worked with. It was a hard one really, because we worked with them for a long time, and they'd always been good, but we turned it to a hourly rate. And then it all went a bit downhill from there. So we lost a bit of money on that, because when you're not working with them constantly, you're kind of putting that trust in them. You think it's going to get done the way that you think it's going to get done, like they did before, but it kind of changed. So that was definitely a learning, one of our biggest things. So yeah, always stick with a fixed rate in our experience than going to an hourly rate.
Okay, cool. So I guess maybe was that maybe their motivation, or was it maybe we just were a bit more hands off on that project? Or
yeah, a bit of both really. It's because I was a little bit more hands off. I guess, you know, I wasn't overseeing it to the true extent of what I would have if I was more on, but I was trying to step away from a bit of the project coordination role, having someone that was in the trades anyway. My background isn't trade. I just thought that would make sense. They've been so good with the pricing and stuff, but it seemed to be more bringing in their friends, which is fine to a degree, but then also things like repeating the same thing, like for example, saying that they power hose the floor for an hour here or an hour there, but then you look back 2-3 months later, you realize, hang on, in the past 2 months they've power hosed the garden for like 10 hours. That's that's not right. So they're obviously trying to figure out how to add in the hours, and they did it very gradually throughout. So just for us, we just got to keep our eye on it a little bit more. But to be honest, from that, we've now just worked based on quotes and the set thing, and then we know exactly where we stand and things don't go over priced.
Fair enough. So thinking about the last project that you've refurbished, what's the one thing you might do differently if you had your time over again with the last one?
So we're doing one right now, and it's just little things like with the kitchen, we wanted to get the big tall, you know, the full height fridge freezer and just make it a really nice functioning kitchen. But actually the strategy is SA, and they probably only need an under the shelf fridge freezer. Like, it doesn't really need to be a big one. And we could have saved £300 per flat on that. And it's just little things like that. So there are the things, but that's what we do differently, is just that. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. With all the other things that we do, it's just sometimes it's so fast paced, it's really hard. You kind of just got to be really adaptable. So it's really hard to say, oh, we should have done more planning here, more planning there, but it kind of always falls into place of what it needs to be anyway, we have found. No matter how much we plan, it'll have to adapt and change. So we do as much as we can. But yeah, I think the one thing moving forward, we'll just plan things like that a bit more, make sure that we can make some savings somewhere.
Just okay, yeah. So think about the end user and how much they like to use something, and the wear and tear on it, that kind of thing.
Definitely, because we were kind of thinking, well, you know, we might sell them at some point and that'd be a more desirable kitchen, and that could still be the case, but it would still be nice with a smaller fridge for the SA. Yeah. And by the time you sell it, you know what I mean? It will still be usable, still function. And if someone wanted that, it wouldn't be hard to change that.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So kind of seven refurbs in. What's one thing you always kind of do with any of the refurbs that you do? So is there like have you got something like this, like a signature piece you put in, or is there a certain type of kitchen you always do? I don't really kind of put thoughts into your mind, but what's the one thing you always make sure you do with a refurb that you do?
We always, I don't know if this sounds like a silly answer, but we always just make sure we put blinds in. I know not everyone, I think, does that, but we always make sure we provide the blinds. And if not, I mean, we do, but sometimes we've done curtain poles, or we'll do both, just to give people that option. We always think that personally, with the caliber of people that you're going to see with renting that property, you just don't want to have one of those people that might put up, I don't know, like, without saying it in the wrong way, like some sheets or something. I'm sure people would put stuff up, but, you know, we just like to have it where it's all finished. It's like putting a frame around a picture. Yeah. It's that kind of thing that we like doing that. And then in our SAs and HMOs, we always do smart heating, something that we will always put in with those.
Cool. Yeah, really like it. So I guess like the curtain blinds and the curtain pole type thing, that's for your buy-to-lets?
Yeah, for the buy-to-lets, but we do it for the HMOs as well. We kind of, every property we've done, we've just done that. And I think we've had chats with some people and they just say, oh, you know, they'll just put their own up, but we just like to know that it's there and it's an option. And if they've just moved in and they haven't got around to measuring up, they've got something to keep, you know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I know quite a lot of people that do will do that because they don't want tenants potentially to be drilling holes, that kind of thing. Yeah. They won't particularly know if there's a pipe or if there's a piece of electric under there.
Exactly.
Or if they use the right fixing, it rips off your plasterboard off. So I guess it kind of comes from that. I know quite a lot of people in their ASTs as well put that, you can't screw shelves and things onto walls. Do you kind of go that far with your ASTs, or are you not too fussy about that kind of thing?
We're not actually. We always let our tenants have pets as well. I know a lot of people tend to say no to that, but we find that they stay longer. It's a home. Not many people let people rent with pets, so they're grateful for what they have in a sense, and we make it really nice for them. But we do say make it your own home, so they will put pictures up and shelves up and stuff like that. If it's something like they want to put up a big telly or something heavy, we just say, look, if you're going to put something up heavy or you're not sure, just let us know and we'll come and get someone to do it for you. So we normally give them at the very beginning that option of, light decor, you crack on, but anything big and heavy, just let us know. It's not a no, it's just we'll get someone to manage it.
Do it properly and not wreck the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay. So thinking back to your very first project, you kind of touched on it at the start when we started having a chat a minute ago. That was that feeling of kind of excitement mixed with some nervousness and that kind of adrenaline type thing. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting this crazy property journey? And if they were right at the start of their project they're about to complete or just picked up some keys, what piece of advice would you give them?
There's a few. First of all, I would actually say go with your gut. So go with the 3 quotes that most people say. If you've not got a team, you want to start building that relationship and getting some good quotes in. But definitely go with your gut, because sometimes, I've spoken with people and, they can speak down to you. They might speak rudely to other people when you're there. They might pick up the phone and speak to someone, and you can kind of get a vibe of how they are with other people and yourself. So always kind of believe in you. Because I think the kind of tradespeople that we've had a little bit of trouble with in the past, or might put tools down and stuff like that, are normally those types of people. We now have decided to go with a company where they just do everything and they're really reliable. Everything gets done. There's no pointing fingers of what trade did what and who left the mess behind, that type of thing. So just be mindful and gut feeling, get your quotes, and go from there. Learn as you go as well, I guess. Enjoy it.
Cool. So I guess you advocate then using just one build team, what's kind of one principal builder that then oversees all the trades under them, rather than trying to organize individual trades yourself, because obviously you've got other businesses that you run, so that time and that hassle is then taken away.
True. I mean, to start off with, we did do everything, and we did help other people coordinate it to the point that we were kind of getting every trade in, the electrician and then the gas engineer and then the painter. But we did find, and I think that's great, it keeps costs down, but there's things where it gets a bit messy in the sense of if the plasterer left all the mess behind or there's some rubbish and stuff like that, they're like, it wasn't me, it was the painter, or that was so-and-so. And there was always snagging and no one would put their hands up to know whose role that was. So it's like, right, this needs to be done. So then you're just having to pay more anyway to get someone else back just to finish off the other little bitty bits. Yeah. So for us personally, having someone with their own team, there's no one else to point fingers. It's their team. They've got to come back and do it at the set price that we said. So it just works so much smoother for us. And we even use this person for anyone that we source properties onto. We make sure that it's them because they're really reliable. For the 3 years, they've never let us down. It's been really good.
I guess if you're sourcing to somebody else, you've got that rapport you've already built, you've got that trust, and it's your reputation as well now, isn't it, going forward? So
100%. It's always, and there are smaller tradespeople that I will pop in and say, oh, use these for your carpets, or here's a good painter, that kind of thing. We do have great relationships with people, but to make your life easier and sometimes saving costs in the long run, it may seem a little bit more money to have one person do it with a bit that's VAT registered potentially than a couple of smaller trades. But our experience is it comes complete, it gets quick. I mean, they were in and out in a week for one of our other projects, which is amazing, and finishing 4 weeks with another one, and they just keep it going. It's really good, really organized. They've got a good system.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we're grateful for that, because I think that's quite hard to find.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think people don't factor in that speed as well, because if you drag it out to 8 weeks, 12 weeks, maybe even longer, that time that you've spent on those kind of hidden costs people don't really teach about, I suppose. So holding on to it and paying the utilities, the council tax, not having someone in renting out already, so you've got the income coming back on it on the investment. People kind of miss that. So yeah, it's a really top tip. So thank you for sharing that. Hopefully that kind of insight you've just shared with us will be really helpful to someone who's taken 10 minutes to sit and watch us today. So thank you for that. If someone wants to get in touch with you, or they want to find out some more about property pipeline, that kind of thing, how do they get in touch with you, Holly?
They can find me on Instagram underneath Holly Jennings Property, and you can also go to the Property Pipeline website, which is www.propertypipeline.co.uk.
Awesome, cool. Well, we'll make sure they go in the comments under the video as well.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Holly, for your time. Thanks for anybody that's watched it. Like it, share it, leave us a comment if it's been useful, and see you next time. Thank you very much.